Good morning, church. We're going to be hearing about the Jewish response to Lazarus' resurrection here. There were many Jews who came to Mary and who saw what he did and believed in him, but some of them went to the Pharisees and told them what Jesus had done. So the chief priests and the Pharisees convened the Sanhedrin and were saying, "What are we going to do since this man is doing many signs? If we let him go on like this, everyone will believe in him, and the Romans will come and take away both our place and our nation." So what is the Sanhedrin? The Sanhedrin was a group of 70 Jewish elders from the Pharisees and the Sadducees, and they were the ruling council. Now, they only had so much authority because they were under Rome, as we're going to see in the crucifixion narrative. They couldn't put somebody to death, but they did have some authority and flexibility to govern the Jews as they were able. And so what we have here is a split in the reaction to Lazarus, some believing and following after Christ, and some basically going to tell and to say, look at what this Jesus is doing. And what is the response of the Jewish leaders? It was, we need to do something about this guy or everybody's going to believe in him, because if that happens, then they'll take away our position and our nation. Why was that a real threat? They had a pretty tentative relationship with Rome, and Rome sanctioned a couple other religions that they didn't think were going to be too threatening to the hierarchy of Rome. And so Judaism was one of the sanctioned faiths. But if this new God arises, if this new Lord arises, Rome is going to look and go, hey, what are you guys doing? And there was a very real risk that Rome would come and put a lot of people down, try to quell this uprising. So they had a real concern for themselves that they were not safe if this Jesus guy kept doing his thing. And it brings us to the devotional point today, is that following Jesus costs us. And there's sometimes we don't want to follow because we have these same two objections. I might lose my position. Remember, Jesus calls us to be servants, to be the least of these, to be foot washers, to follow him like the rich young ruler, sell everything and follow me. And we can be like that guy and go, oh, I didn't count the cost to be so expensive. And our nation. So what did the Jews have? I mean, the nation was the big promise. That's what God was offering them all along, a place to be his people and his land. And here then they've been through so much turmoil in the last 400 years plus. And so suddenly they're like, oh no, we could lose all this, even this little bit that we have. So they want to put Jesus away. But following Jesus does cost you everything. He wants us to be willing to lay it all down when we pursue him. What are you still grasping at, still holding on to tightly, that you would say, man, if Jesus asked this of me, I just couldn't do that, then I would go and do something else? Preferably the answer is nothing, right? There would be nothing that would cause us to feel that way or to do that. And so go to the Lord in prayer and say, God, how can I do this work that you're calling me to do? How can I continue to lay down my life for you? And how can I open my hands? Reveal to me, put your finger on my heart about those things that I am holding close. And when we do this together, we can increase and have a more faithful walk with Christ. I love you, church, and we'll talk to you soon again.